Welcome to Dirt Secrets, where we dig deep into the stories, strategy, and surprises of building and buying in Central Florida's hottest neighborhoods.
We're Kim and Amanda from Builders Concierge Group, your insiders in the builder world.
From helping builders create custom urban infill projects, even when that means knocking down an old home, to guiding buyers and relocation clients through every step.
We know the dirt, the deals, and the details that turn big dreams into beautiful addresses.
So grab your hard hat
And your coffee.
Let's dig in.
Welcome back to Dirt Secrets Podcast. We are here with a good friend of ours, Victor. We're going to introduce him here in just a second, but we're going to get right to it. We're going to play a fast, fun game, this or that.
Let's go.
Let's go. You
Let's
wanna
go.
Start, or you want me to start?
You start.
All right. We're going to go fast, and I'm going to give you this or that.
Okay,
You're going to pick one
perfect.
or the other, or both, or neither.
Okay.
All right. We're going to start with block construction or wood frame.
Well, if it's in South Tampa, block construction
Yeah.
all day, but yeah, it pretty much depends. It
Depends.
Yeah.
So, yes. How about smart automation or traditional simplicity?
I would say both.
Both.
Yeah.
As a builder, you want simple, but as a
Yes.
client owning it, you want
Yes.
smart.
It's gonna, yeah, of course. It's gonna depend on the region, on the buyer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
and the money.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Kim.
Quick build time or fully custom details?
Well, this is what really sets us apart. Like we want to do both as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like we want to be fast and very custom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bridging that gap.
Tankless hot water heaters or traditional systems?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with it depends
Uh-huh.
on this one here as well. So yeah,
We'll get more into that one here in a
Yeah,
minute.
for sure.
What about spray foam insulation or bat insulation?
spray foam.
Always.
Yeah,
Totally
always.
agree.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to get you a good one right now.
Cool.
Dream client, hands off or hands on?
Well, I would say that the dream client is offer on asking price,
Mhm.
cash offer, and no customizations.
Hands
But
off.
Call me when you have the keys.
I'm going to say yes to that.
Yes.
That's my favorite.
We all fully agree.
Favorite part, breaking ground or handing over the keys?
Well,
Ooh,
for
that's a
sure,
good one.
handing over the keys.
Yeah.
It is.
There's
So
no,
get your
Breaking ground's fun
yeah.
too.
Uh-huh. Still right,
All right.
here.
Marble countertops or quartz?
Quartz all day. Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
As a designer, the
Non-porous.
quartz is
Yeah.
so.
Mhm.
The marble's beautiful, but boy, it's high maintenance.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Light wood floors or dark wood floors?
Light.
Mhm.
Yeah, for
Doesn't
sure.
show as much.
Mhm.
Just like a dark car versus a light car.
Just make sure you get a light colored dog.
to
Make
go
sure
with
the dog
it.
matches your floors, and then that way you don't have to worry about dog hair.
Matte black hardware or polished? Polished brass.
That's a hard one, but
That's
I
a
think I
debate.
would go with the black.
Black.
Yeah.
I think that's a gender thing too. I noticed that the
Mhm.
guys always seem to gravitate towards the nice chunky
Yeah.
black hardware, and the ladies are like, "Oh, it's shiny."
I'm not really into the polished.
No,
I
know,
would
you
would
are.
do the
You're
more
not a shiny
champagne
girl.
No, yeah, I'm definitely going to gravitate the other way. But layout living, open concept or defined rooms.
For sure, open layout.
That's
Yeah.
how we live,
For
right?
sure. Yeah.
It is, and I've seen trends where people are talking about closing in spaces more, and it's like, oh, I don't want to see my kitchen, and but I've had older homes and newer homes, and when your kitchen's like closed off, you feel so isolated from the rest.
They're
of
all out there.
the rest of the family. They're
Yeah.
having fun. It's FOMO,
Or it's too loud in the kitchen because everybody gravitates where the food is.
Right.
give a nice open concept.
I agree. Open concept all the way.
Oh, this is a really good one, especially for
Yeah.
Louis.
Mm-hmm.
First floor owner suite or upstairs retreat?
Yeah. I think there's a certain someone here that taught me very much about that. So actually in our portfolio, we have both. It's going to
Mhm.
depend, on the
Mhm.
region, the zip code, the buyer persona we're bidding it
Mhm.
for. So we try to balance that,
Mhm.
according to the region.
Mhm.
And so we have both. Yeah.
You definitely want both. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, cold air falls in Florida, and our population tends to be a little bit more aging.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
having
Yes.
both is very important.
Yes.
We are getting older.
Yes.
All right, one last one. Butler's pantry or oversized island?
For sure,
Mm.
both.
Yes,
both.
that's a yes. That's always a yes.
Uh-huh.
All right, we are done playing our little game. We're going to probably dig into a few more of these questions here as well. But we're going to get to know Victor. He is the president and one of the founders of LUIH. This is a builder that we've been representing here for over a year now here in Central Florida. They've made a huge impact. So we're going to ask a few questions and we're going to let him tell you exactly who he is. So, Victor, we just introduced that you're LUIH. Tell us a little bit about the name of LUIH.
Well, I've never said that to anyone, but it's a very simple meaning to the name. Our vision is to become the best luxury urban infill builder in the US. So LUIH Luxury Urban Infill Homes. So that's
Perfect.
where the name came
Mhm.
from.
That's perfect. I have a lot of people
Mhm.
asking, how do you pronounce this?
Louis,
when we
Louis,
tell them, they're
guys.
like,
So
oh, that's
it's
smart.
Louis, okay?
Like Louis.
So
It's a,
ha-
it's a great acronym. It really does. It sums up everything that you're doing and the
Yeah.
impact you've made in this
and it's fun.
market.
It's almost like naming your dog Paul.
Yeah.
Louis for a home builder. Kim has a dog named Paul.
I love that.
So tell us how long you've been building here in Central Florida.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell my story like really short. So I'm from Brazil, civil engineer. I've been working with real estate since 2007. I worked with large development projects down there in South America for 7 years. Then I moved to the US in 2014. I went to business school at University of Virginia. And right after that, I started working for this management consulting firm from Boston. And I stayed there for 3 years. So those were my 5 years away from real estate.
Mhm.
And in 2018, I was invited to be part of the founding team of a real estate and technology company in Brazil called Loft. And it relates to how we got to Louis and how we got to Central Florida. So what we did at Loft, we acquired, we remodeled, and we sold apartments in high-end neighborhoods of São Paulo and in Rio. So it got to a point in which we had more than 600 remodelings going on at the same time. So we learned how to scale and how to manage multiple job sites in construction. So we also launched a second business unit, which is a marketplace very similar to Zillow here in the US, in which we connect buyers, realtors, and sellers to facilitate real estate transactions. This business is scaled really fast and it's present in over 40 cities in Brazil. And we facilitate thousands of transactions per month. And we also have a third business unit in which I was the general manager that originates home equity and mortgage loans. So we originate more than 2,000 loans like every month. We are the market leaders in Brazil. And during this endeavor of building Loft, we received a lot of investment from American venture capital firms, especially from Silicon Valley and New York. And with this, we intensified our relationship with the American real estate market. You guys are so much time ahead of us in terms of maturity of the industry. So we always try to look here for different business models, that we could adapt to South America. And during this time, we actually came here very often. And it was initially such a huge coincidence that we were driving around here in Florida in neighborhoods such as Colonial Town, College Park, Winter Park. We also went to South Tampa, Sarasota, and we saw something that really caught our attention. In the same street, in this very old but super charming neighborhoods, there were houses selling for land value for, I would say, approximately like 200, 300,000 at the time. It's getting much more expensive now. And brand new construction selling like 4 or 5 times this value. And we saw that there was an opportunity. We initially started building and investing here the end of 2021, 2022, and we did initially 3 houses and we completed this cycle. It was super fun. And we decided to make this the business of our lives. So this is how we got to Central Florida here. And we've been doing that since then.
So you fell in love with the area.
Yes.
And then found an opportunity.
For sure.
That's incredible. I did not know this story yet. We've been working together for over a year. So that's very cool. I didn't understand how you guys made it. Yeah. So I love it. What is your goal? Well, let's back up for a second. So you started here in 2021. How many houses did you build that year?
Well, initially only 3 houses. Yeah.
And that was Colonial Town, right?
Yes, Colonial Town.
I remember
Mark Streets. Well,
gorgeous.
Yeah.
think I lived in that area. I did live in.
You
I
lived
did
in
live.
Oregon?
I did
Yeah,
live there
that's a
when you was
super
doing that. That's when I
neighborhood.
saw it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I love that location in that area. You've done several more since then.
Mhm.
So each year from 2021 3, and then tell me about 22, 23, 24, and this year. Where are we
Yeah.
at?
Okay, cool. So the first thing that we needed to build the dream, we needed to raise money and to be very well capitalized. So we had, to go and talk to a bunch of investors, and so that we could raise the necessary funds to start scaling the business and building the team, with this dream. So we actually started scaling it up in May, June of 2023.
Mhm.
And since then, we have acquired more than 100 lots, in Central Florida. We have sold more than 25 homes. Right now, we have probably 50 jobs under construction in different, stages. And we have like approximately like 30 in design and permitting phases. So yeah, this is where we stand right now. And we focus on houses that would sell from $1.5 million to approximately $4.5 million. So this is the range that we
Luxury.
target here. Yeah.
I love it. So starting at that level at 2021 till now, and that's a fast-paced growth. Tell
Mhm.
me a little bit how some of your successes doing that, and of course when you grow that fast, growing pains. So tell me a
course.
little bit about that and what that looks like today.
Well, that's for sure. We have learned a lot. I have learned a lot, from you guys. You are part of our learnings here, in various phases of the development cycle. I will, probably come with maybe two of the two learnings that were very, very important for us. The first one being in the beginning when we got to a point to finish various houses at the same time. So we
Mhm.
were managing probably like 10 to 15 houses in the finishing stages,
Mhm.
where we have to coordinate lots of activities at the same time, a lot of people that needs to be on the same page. And we were kind of like anxious, if the house wasn't sold already during construction. We wanted to get the CO, and right after the CO, we wanted to stage the house and list it on market, because for us it was important to have a very fast cycle, as I mentioned in the beginning.
Mhm.
And if the house was sold right after the CO, we wanted to invite the buyer to do the buyer's inspection,
Mhm.
and for sure it didn't work the way we expected. So when we realized that, what we started doing is the CO, is not the same as having the house
First step.
completed,
It's just the
to be
beginning. Yeah.
staged,
The very first step.
So we have, a process in place now to do our internal inspection, our internal punch list, to make sure that the house is completely ready for a buyer's inspection or to be staged,
Mhm.
So this was one of the learnings that we have. And the other one, I would say customizations,
Mhm.
we sold some houses during the construction phase. And at the time, I don't think we had the right framework to what customizations to accept and
Right.
at which moment in time, in the timeline
Yeah.
of the construction. So right now, it's much more clear to us. We try to avoid, of course, customizations, but on the other side, and you guys know that,
Mhm.
we always try to incentivize the buyer to put an offer and let us tell the buyer and the listing agent what we can do and what we can't
Mhm.
do, because every customization, as simple as it can be, demands a lot of internal coordination, and
Of
the buyer
course.
doesn't see that
No,
all,
Right.
they don't.
so I would say that those two were some of our
Mhm.
biggest learnings along the
Mhm.
way.
Mhm.
And it's not just telling them no and yes, it's about telling them why.
Yes, of
Mhm.
For
course,
both for
Yeah.
both sides.
yes,
Because if you don't understand why we say no, or even why we can say yes, you're going to assume that you can do
Mhm.
more than you're capable of
yes,
doing.
yes.
So it's important. And that's literally what Kim and I do. And
Mhm.
big part of the podcast that we're trying to accomplish here. And we'll get into a lot more of these items that Victor's talking about in future episodes, because it is important to understand this is not as easy as it is. I've changed my mind. It covers so many different bases, so much time and so much money. So it's
Yes.
very, very important.
And I think it's really important for the builder to have such a good grasp of your timeline, because visually the customer's going there going, well, there's no walls. Why can't I do this?
Yes.
And like you said, saying, well, these are all the things that it affects.
Yes.
And, I've always told people about change orders. I'm going, there's a reason that there's a fee and that it's a little painful, because it's painful for everyone.
Yes. It's not just the cost of the material.
No, it's
you
not.
know?
It's all
There are
the
so many hidden
administration.
costs, to
Mhm.
make sure that we deliver the right
Mhm.
customization
Right.
without delaying, the
Mhm.
CO.
Mhm.
So
Time
yeah,
is
it was
money.
a
It's a
huge
fine
learning
line.
for us.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. And it is, because you want to see us. You want to
Yeah.
make them happy. You want to do
sure.
all these things for them. But in the end, it makes everybody mad.
And I agree with you. I think it's
Mhm.
all about aligning expectations.
Right.
That was also a huge learning for us. We had this initiative that we called the buyer journey,
Yes.
in which we mapped the entire buyer journey, the pain points, which process we had to improve, and one of the very first things that happened right after the buyer signs a contract with us, and makes the escrow deposit, the buyer will receive an email from us, aligning expectations, and making sure that all the next steps from this moment until the delivery of the keys is very clear for everyone, So yeah.
It's
And you've put some great people in place to handle that. We
Yes,
have just been
yes,
the
yes.
people in the field
Everybody.
have
They-
been just
yeah.
so receptive and so responsive to the clients.
It's literally why Kim and I do what we do.
Mhm.
We have taken in place with a lot of different builders a process, because if
For
you,
sure.
it's the whole adage, plan to fail to plan to fail kind of
Yes.
thing. So a lot of your builders are very operational. So what we want to do is put a process in place for them. That's exactly what you're doing. We're for small to medium. You guys are becoming very, very large, custom, and I would almost call it semi-custom, because you can do both sides of it, right?
Mhm.
So when we talk about that kind of thing, your process is developing rapidly in a really cool way. It's almost you're almost becoming more of a technology company as well, a very
Mhm.
equal
sure.
level of both sides.
Mhm.
We talk about processes a lot of times. We've talked about, different ways to do start and finish contractors and different things. How are you putting that process in place? Now, you started like a Zillow type company down in Brazil.
Mhm.
Are you developing your own type of software at this point? Is that something you guys are heading towards to kind of manage this?
Yes, for sure. And yeah, that's what I think really sets us apart, to be honest. And what I think it's the main differential, uh, Louis, is our team,
Mhm.
So it's really hard to combine the expertise of real estate, construction, and technology.
Mhm.
Not many
Yes.
teams have the blend of these three expertise. And because of our background,
Right.
we have it, so we
Mhm.
know how to scale a business in real estate
Mhm.
without losing quality for the client. So I like to play that at the end of the day, from the door out, we are a custom builder,
Mhm.
but to scale that, to make that happen in scale, we need to have a lot of processes and
Mhm.
technology, in data and dashboards, so that we are able, to make the information flow correctly at the right time, and that we are identifying issues very early on in the process. So this is a huge part of what we're doing here. It's one of the things that really sets us apart. And yes, to answer your question, we have our tech team. We have a very good tech team. And we are now in the era of artificial intelligence as well, So every technology team became much more,
Efficient.
efficient and
Mhm.
productive.
Mhm.
You don't need to have a huge technology team. And there's something that I heard the other day that for me is completely true. Nowadays, every company is a technology company.
Mhm.
If you're not going to be able to
Right.
scale, and you're not going to be able to compete and deliver the highest standards.
Oh, 100%.
And you
Gotta
don't have
embrace.
the ability to pivot when the market does change. And
Yes.
if you're constantly taking in those data points and analyzing them, and like you said, finding where the pain points are in your process, you can pivot more quickly.
Yes.
If you're just like, well, this is the way we've always done it, it worked here,
Yes.
not being responsive to market conditions and client requests, you're going to get you're left behind.
Yes. And we use
Very
technology in
Mhm.
almost every step of the value chain. We use
Mhm.
technology, even to decide why are we operating in Central Florida,
Mhm.
you
Sure.
know, or which zip codes should we operate and should we target
Right.
that has
Yeah.
a good fit with
Right.
urban infill.
Mhm.
And we needed to, have the same knowledge as a builder that has been working here for 30 years. So
Mhm.
how do I make sure I'm making the right land acquisitions that I'm expecting, and I'm projecting the right price point for that house
Mhm.
in that region, and that I'm taking the right comparables,
Mhm.
And so in at the acquisition part of the business, there's a lot of data and technology to make sure
Mhm.
that we are making the right decisions and that we are investing and developing the right lots,
Mhm.
and in the entire process, the design and permitting process, the
Right.
same
That's
thing.
that's a whole nother animal.
And in the construction management, the same thing. We have softwares to identify if the jobs is on schedule, what are the most common types of occurrences in the job, that we need to take care of, or we need to revisit our processes to make it better and to avoid it from happening in future jobs.
Mhm.
You're really bridging the gap between production and custom in a way that I don't think we've seen before. We've seen little bits and pieces of
Mhm.
this, but never at this scale. So you've got the scalability of the process, the systems, and everything in place to track the level of 100 job sites at one time being
Mhm.
active in some form or fashion, whether you're purchasing it, designing it, breaking ground, building, finishing, selling. So you've got all of that there. And then you also are allowing some customization. You have floor
Yes.
plans, we can make some modifications here and there. Now, it's not 100% custom because you're not
Mhm.
going to take it from start to finish. You don't want to do that because that's a whole nother animal, time and
Yes.
pressure.
And there's some great small builders that really
Oh, yeah.
that really stay in that lane in this market, especially in the urban zip codes, to where
100%.
they're happy building 3 houses a year, and so they're willing to
A lot
take on
less
that.
stress.
Yeah, a lot of stress. Well, no, they're willing to take on that client. They marry that client,
Yes.
And when you're trying to scale, it's just you want that great relationship with the client. But it's like gotta follow our pathway to make
Right.
this successful for both of us.
Nobody can be everything to everybody.
Exactly.
It becomes
Yes.
extremely important to stay
For
in your
sure.
lane and define who you are,
For
Mhm.
sure.
and then make that your perfection.
Yes.
Mhm.
For
So I
sure.
think that's really, really important.
Mhm.
That is really cool. So with that has been a fast track in 4
Mhm.
years' time from where you started to where you are, and even from the inception of the concept when you just love the area and wanted to be a part of it. Um, Tell me where you think you guys are going. What is your next steps, and where do
Cool.
you ultimately want to go, whether it's here or other places?
Well, as I mentioned, the big vision, the big dream is to become the best and largest urban infill builder in the US.
Ah,
That's the vision
national.
here. Of course, starting here in Central Florida. So I would say that in the next year, we want to really consolidate our market position, both here in the Orlando metro area and in Tampa.
Mhm.
We started acquiring in Tampa as well. We have 6 lots being developed over there. So we want to consolidate our position here.
Mhm.
It was some kind of like an easier, geographic expansion because it's like a 2-hour drive
Mhm.
away from where we are
Mhm.
here
Not an
right
easy
now.
drive, but yes.
Yeah, I4 can
Never
be a
fun.
pain. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And then the next step would be to, do another type of geographic expansion, maybe towards another state.
Mhm.
That sounds exciting. And I think that's something that the whole country could use. Like I said, it's bridging a gap from what we traditionally know as production, which is a land value position.
Mhm.
But your quality of materials and different things can be a little bit more builder grade, if you
Yeah,
will,
Mhm.
with a lot of expense
for
to
sure.
to get to the level of where you guys are building. So that's
For
kind of a
sure.
gap can definitely see.
Yeah,
it's
for sure. And this
beneficial.
is the gap that we are trying to fill here,
I love
because
it.
in these areas, we cannot be a production builder, we cannot be these types of products, and I've
Right.
seen before,
Right.
they are not absorbed really well.
Mhm.
So if you go, and I invite you, whoever is listening to us here, to visit our houses, and you're gonna see that, actually during this morning, I was one of the top agents in the Soto area, and I took her to one of our houses down there. It's a $1.5 million house in Soto, and her husband is actually a builder, and he's
Yes.
a very good builder.
Yep.
And I took her there because we have a good relationship, and she's very honest and transparent with me all the time. And I told her to give me honest feedback, and she was really impressed
Yeah.
by the job that we are doing, by the quality of work that we're doing, So for sure, it competes,
Yes.
and I would say we are some levels above, in terms of delivering a custom builder, a custom house. It has that custom feel.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree.
Well, I just think that there's so many exciting markets throughout the Southeast, especially where there are old established neighborhoods. Think of it, some of those beautiful neighborhoods, Atlanta and Charlotte, and where people would love to have a new home, but the stock isn't there.
Yes.
And the houses they've outlived their usefulness. They're 50, 60, 70 years old. They're functionally obsolete, and they're not built for today's growing families. And so it's just really amazing to come in and fill that need. And like I said, I think your possibilities for expansion are practically endless, because there's so many just beautiful cities that need this type of
Right.
product.
Yes. And we are cracking this case of
Mhm.
how to, making this machine, creating this company that is able to replicate it in different cities, different geographies.
Mhm.
Of course, we are not gonna try to do the same thing that we do here in Tampa. We
course
always try to work backwards
Mhm.
from the buyer persona.
Right.
We try
Right.
to understand who are the best builders in that area,
Mhm.
what types of houses, what styles of houses are selling for the highest
Mhm.
prices and selling fast. So
Mhm.
we always try to do our research, and then we start designing our
That's
houses
very
to
smart.
fit very well that certain market.
Mhm.
And that's the most critical. A lot of
Yeah.
conversations we've had
Yes.
actually about some different design stuff.
You can't fight the market.
Yes.
It's like you
Give them
can't
what
come
they
in and say,
want.
this was beautiful and this does great for us in this market. You just can't automatically
Oh, how
push
many
it
times
into
have we seen that?
Yeah, push it in and say,
Yeah.
well, it's done great here, so it should do great
Yes.
everywhere.
Right.
Yes.
And the
Completely
market
agree.
will tell you what they feel about your houses pretty quickly.
Now, I lived in Tampa. I actually
Mhm.
went to school at Clearwater High School. I lived in Tampa. I had my son at Tampa
University of
General.
Sun and
that Kim went to USF. I know that area pretty well,
Mhm.
and I think that what you guys are going to incorporate over there
Mhm.
is going to be something different and well received in that market as well, from what
Mhm.
I know from it. So I've got a
Mhm.
lot of friends still
Yeah.
there, so I can
Mhm.
see a balance, because again, nobody can be everything to everybody, but everybody wants something different. That kind of European design has been a very big influence in this
Mhm.
market as well. So it's not for everybody,
Yes, for
Mhm.
but
sure.
we're not trying to do this for everybody. And you don't want to be cookie.
Mhm.
We
Yes.
want these communities that still have a lot of um,
Character.
uniqueness and character
Yeah.
to them. So it's not like every home needs to be torn down.
Mhm.
There's just a
Yes.
need for it in some places. We can't make more dirt, right?
Yes, for
We need
sure.
dirt, but we
Mm-mm.
can't make more. But we
Mhm.
want to be in these cities
And
that
at the end of the day, we also want each house to blend in very well
Yeah.
within the street it's
Mhm.
located.
exactly.
Mhm.
You don't want it to be too sticking
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and the neighbors
Monstrosity.
appreciate that. It contributes to the value of the neighborhood overall.
Yes.
And I love driving down the street. You're going, is that old or new? And that's always
Yes.
interesting to.
And we have received lots of positive
Mhm.
feedbacks from the neighbors.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sometimes
We're bringing up their
someone just
values.
Yeah.
they just go, wow, this house is so pretty.
Mhm.
I
You
love
wouldn't
it.
believe
Can I
what was
see
here
it?
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been doing this a long time. I'd say that about 85-90% of the time, the neighbors are always very positive and they're very happy. And, you get to know them, you knock on the
Yes.
door and say, hey, it's going to be a little inconvenient for a while, but overall, I think you're going to be really happy.
Yeah.
And there's always that one or two that, it's like, I don't want this in my neighborhood,
Not my
but
backyard.
they usually come around. They usually come to the first open house.
Right.
And
Yes,
they'll
tell you
yes,
everything
Until
yes.
they find out what
that's
their house is worth now.
Yeah. And then you start talking, they start looking around and go, oh, okay, well, this isn't so bad.
What
Yeah.
was here before was,
Mhm.
falling down. It wasn't well cared for.
Right.
We have, crawl spaces that fail. So there's
Mhm.
reasons for all this. And there's
Mhm.
reasons for remodels as well.
Mhm,
There's
yeah.
not, there's a place for everything.
Sometimes it's too cute to tear down.
You say that a
I
lot
know.
too. Well, there's also the value of new construction. So
Mhm.
it does, new building codes and insurance and different things like that become very important.
Just got a big old insurance increase on my 70-year-old bungalow, and
And you've redone everything.
I've been done. It's way more than a new house.
I know, don't you love it? When they get their
Mhm.
insurance and you're like, it's $1,500 for a $1.4 million house.
I'm
You're
like,
like,
That's
hell,
double. Mhm.
what is happening? And half the size.
Mhm.
So it is fun to have new construction.
Yes.
Mhm.
So is there anything, as we start to wrap up everything, is there anything you want to tell our listeners and everything a little bit more about LUIH or where you think you're going or maybe a specific house you want to come see soon?
Well,
Mhm.
we have a couple of houses on the market completed in the Soto area,
Mhm.
in College Park. I'm sure it's gonna be very easy to find us.
Mhm.
Talk to these
Call
girls.
us.
Builder concierge.
These are my
Yeah.
favorite ladies
Oh.
in the moment. They have
Forever.
just sold these. They have just sold 5 of LUIH houses
About
in
to
the
be
past
6.
30 days.
Yep.
So I think
Mhm.
it's going really well. But again, it's just such a pleasure to be here. I'm such a huge admirer of this entrepreneurship culture that the United States have. It's great to be part of this. Building another immigrant, hopefully success story here. I think we are
Love
on
it.
a good track.
Mhm.
Well,
And
we're built.
yeah, I'm super excited about everything that we're doing, everyone that we are being surrounded with. So this for me is one of the most fun parts of building a business is to surround yourself with people that you want to work with. Not only they are very competent, they are very good at what they do, but you can also have fun building relationships and building a win-win partnership. So this is how we operate. It's really hard to be part of the LUIH team. We are very demanding, with the people who joins the company, who joins the team, or even the subs. We want to have all the best subs working with us, and you have to continue being very good at what you're doing, because we are like measuring everything to make sure that we have the most outstanding quality in every product. So yeah, I couldn't be more excited to be part of this show, and yeah, I hope to be back here soon with you guys.
Uh-huh.
I love it.
We thank you for coming today, and it's been a pleasure working with your team and getting to know. And every time you add a new person, we're just like, wow, where'd they
Yeah.
find that great person? You definitely.
It's amazing the
have
new
some
hires you've had.
awesome
The
team
one
members.
constant thing is change.
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
And
Yes,
you guys
it
keep
is.
picking up. And that's the one thing with all the closings that we've had and all the closings we're about to have and we're going to continue to have together. The one thing I can always say is like, no matter what, you guys will take care of it. You care,
You do
genuinely
You
care, and
genuinely
want
care.
to
That is
make it all
important.
right at all
Mhm.
times. And you
Mhm.
do. You always do. Regardless of the growing pains and some of the challenges, you correct it and it doesn't happen again. So it's been amazing watching the level of growth at the speed that you've done it at
Mhm.
and the way that you've been able to pivot and make it continue to
Mhm.
work. And every time I turn around, there's some new system. I'm like, God, that's amazing.
Mhm.
So it's been very, very cool. So thank
Cool.
you for coming. Thank you
Well,
for introducing. And now you guys
thank you,
know it's
everyone.
LUIH, Luxury Urban Infill Homes. Now you know how to pronounce it. Thanks for coming.
That's another episode of Dirt Secrets, where we uncover the real stories and strategies behind building and buying in Central Florida.
If you're a builder ready to make your mark with a custom urban infill project, a buyer looking for the perfect home, or someone relocating here for a fresh start, we're here to guide you from blueprint to closing.
Make sure to follow the show on your favorite podcast app so you never miss a single secret and to stay ahead of the market.
You can find us at buildersconciergegroup.com or on Instagram and Facebook at Builders Concierge Group, where we share listings, behind-the-scene tours, and sneak peeks of what's coming next.
We'd love to hear from you. Send your questions, your dream home wish list, or your own dirt secret, and we might feature it in a future episode.
Remember, whether you're breaking ground, buying your first home, or finding your Florida forever home,
the right property isn't just built, it's crafted with the right team, the right strategy, and the right connections.
you've been listening to Dirt Secrets, and we'll see you on the next episode.